Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
My approval ratings keep going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome in Defeating the Curse. Week 4 is in the books. The Commanders drop one to the Eagles that they could have won, Stevie. They could have won this one. 34-31 in overtime. Rare happening, I think, for me anyway. I actually watched this game with FP and LP at an event that I was extremely bitter to have to be at. Yeah, there's a story within the story there for sure, but I may not share it, although FP's not here, so frankly, I should be airing out his laundry. But
talk about a who's who of celebrities at one event.
It was, I'll be honest, my game day experience was terrible. I was watching it on the game on an iPad connected to my iPhone mini hotspot situation. It was glitchy. The YouTube TV was all over the place, but we were going bananas when they tied that game. They were in that game from start to finish. The big topic on local radio on Monday was, do we do moral victories around here? And I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find an actual Redskins football team Commanders fan that answers that question. No, we don't do moral victories, because for the last decade or 2 decades, we hang our hat on a ton of moral victories. Dan selling the team is a moral victory. Winning off the field was an entire segment for like 2 years, right? That had nothing to do with the team. So 31-34, they dropped the game. I'm going to ask you the tough question up front. We can break down the game if you, I'm prepared now 2 days later to go through it and kind of talk about it. But if you're the coach and you go down and your quarterback bounces back, it's a touchdown strike as time expires to pull you within 1 point. You're on the road. You're facing a division rival, arguably a top 3, top 2 team in the league. Are you kicking a field goal and going to overtime, or are you playing for the win, rolling the dice and going for 2? What does Coach Stevie do on the sideline?
Well, first of all, I had a horrible game day experience as well. Okay, and if we're giving plugs here, I attend a church, brand new church, Shirlington, Virginia, St. Timothy and St. Athanasius. Everyone should come check it out. It's right across the street from Dudley's. So anyone at Dudley's, if you're listening, it's a great place. But I watched the game on their balcony with 8 children below the age of 6 present with me.
Jeez.
As unpleasant as possible.
That's terrible.
Okay, so I tried to catch as much as I could. I was very excited for the game. And I caught certainly the second half more so than the first half. Your question is made for sports talk radio, Monday morning quarterback.
That's
right?
what we do here, isn't it?
As what we do, and it's unfair. It's unfair.
Wow,
it's unfair to Riverboat.
Question.
I'm
retiring that moniker. You can't be Riverboat when you don't go for it. When you can't, you can win the game. Win the game, Ron. Go win the game.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't think there's a right answer. In that situation, we would have killed him if they didn't get it.
No. I think I'm not going to kill him, okay? Because if you're going to opt for just tying the game, they tied the game. The best possible scenario is you receive the ball. They receive the ball. The best possible scenario from there, obviously, is you go score a touchdown. The next best is you get into field goal range and at least put some pressure on them. And frankly, Terry McLaurin caught the ball in bounds, right? I know it wasn't reviewed, and I don't want to, it's 2 days later, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Like, we got a game in literally 2 days. Like, we're equidistant between the last game and the next game on Thursday night against the Bears. So, in hindsight, you could argue he made the right call. However, there is a wrong answer to this question, and the wrong answer is the one he gave on the podium when he said that the team was tired, okay? Hey, guy, listen up. If the team is tired and can't go get 2 yards, they're going to be pretty tired if you win the toss 5 minutes later and need to go 75 yards to score a touchdown. It's the wrong
And you know who else
answer.
Is tired is the defense.
Of course.
If you're tired, they're more tired. I agree, but let me defend the decision.
Hold on. But if it's a team you're supposed to beat, let's say they go to they're playing for the win against the Bears at home. tie the game, go into overtime,
That's a good point.
handle your business. When you're supposed to lose the game and you're on the road and it's a division rival, this isn't the Bills who beat you by 100. And ultimately in the end, yes, it's a loss, but it doesn't count. Like, it doesn't matter when it comes to playoff seeding and the playoffs long-term, because there's going to be a zillion tiebreakers and the NFC matchups are going to matter more. Your division rivals or something else. And you've got a chance here to beat them on their turf, knowing they have to come here in a couple weeks or a month later. You got to go for the win in that scenario. Robinson was running fine. Samuel he was running fine. Like, there's got to be something in Bieniemy's bag. Like, that's why you brought Eric Bieniemy here, is to run that play to win the game. And either he chickened out or he punked out. But don't tell me the team is tired. Let's line up and play another 10 minutes. What's he thinking in that moment?
Absolutely. The reason behind that, I don't think Ron wanted to show all his hands and go through this whole explanation to the media. And I get that. In his defense, you just drove 75 yards down the field to beat them. So the idea is if we can win the toss, which they did, and we can receive, we can go 75 yards. The other defense is you're supposed to have an elite defense. This defense is far from elite. And I'm done with Chase Young. I am absolutely done with Chase Young.
He was okay.
He played okay, and that's exactly the problem. He led the team in hurries, and I don't know what that means. He had zero impact on the game. The other guys didn't show up as well, but I give Sweat a break. Sweat shows up every single week and plays his butt off, and so do those other two big boys on the inside, Allen and Payne. So they get a pass.
Payne. So just on Payne real quick, I know he got like donuts in the box score, like nothing recorded. It was crazy to see, but like he was still impactful and he was around the ball. Like I'm not gonna kill him specifically. The defense, I mean, your boy Del Rio, like, he always starts off so poorly every season, so slow, right? And the big talk was, why is the rookie covering arguably the best receiver one-on-one, and
he got exposed. He absolutely got exposed.
I understand the other side of it, though. Like, if you draft a kid that high in the first round, like, you got to, just like with Howell, like, Howell's got to play every game this season because you got to know what you got. I think it's the same with Forbes, right? I think you got to play him you have to know if he's your answer there or not long term.
But if he's following AJ Brown around, that's different than playing on the field and covering who's ever on his side. I mean, they're treating him like a shutdown corner following their number one. I think there's a big difference in that. I think, he got exposed. And you know what? You weren't supposed to win the game. In hindsight, it would have been awesome for them to go for two. Yeah. In hindsight, that throw to Dotson, the route and the throw, outside shoulder, guys playing inside position, corners playing inside leverage, that throw, just balls, balls.
But honestly, if we're gonna critique Howell here for just a second, the play before it on third, or like the play right before it where he threw like a 2-yard out and luckily it was dropped like on the 2-yard line. Like, you can't throw that ball. Like, it's end zone or bust at that point, right? So, like, he got sacked 5 times instead of 9 times, right? There's improvement there. They ran the ball effectively. They had a lead. I mean, they were nursing a lead for a good chunk of that first half. And like, I went bananas last week about, like, you got to target your guys. Like, you got to come out and say McLaurin's he's going to touch the ball 6 times in each half, no matter what. Like, these 6 plays we're going to run to get the ball in his hand and see what happens. And I appreciate that they did that. They targeted him early and often, and he produced, right? I mean, you can't really ask for more from the offense, in my opinion, than going into Philly against one of the better defenses and one of the tougher places to play, a division rival, and putting up 31 points, right? Like, in 20, 25 other NFL stadiums, you take that same script, you're going to win those games, right? So the offense, totally fine with. The defense struggled. They did better than expected, in my opinion, against the run. Swift did not go bananas the way he did in the weeks previous, right? So I think there was an emphasis on that. But AJ Brown he's an elite receiver, and he showed it. And honestly, that gallop to the end zone, the running in and out, that felt like I don't know, like church ball. Like, it was just like, throw it up and kind of see what happens. He's just running kind of like a one-man weave or something. It was a little embarrassing, but it's tough. It's a tough loss. For me, what burns more is that they could have won the game, right? Like if you go for it, you don't get it. Like, what are we talking? If they go for it and they win, right? It's the town's going bananas. We're 3-1 in a virtual tie, basically atop the NFC proper, the entire NFC, and they look. We would be having a different conversation, I think, right now than obviously if they go in and they lose the game. We're questioning. I don't think anyone questions Ron if you go for it and lose because you weren't expected to win the game. That's my opinion. Maybe that's a little bit revisionist, but if it's me, I'm going for it.
Look, big picture. I mean, you could have lost against Arizona. You could have lost against Denver. There's no way you could have beaten Buffalo. But my point is, they could easily be 1-2 right now. What are we? Yeah, they could be 1-3. I'm sorry, they could be 1-3, 3-1, or where they are at 2-2. This loss means nothing if you take care of business Thursday night at home.
Sure.
Against Chicago. You go into Atlanta, and there's a terrible quarterback in Atlanta.
I know where
you
this
take care of business on the road.
The march to 5-2, baby.
And then you come in, and who do we got? Giants. Exactly. Then you got a team that's about to quit on everything. And then you're 5-2. We're not even talking. And then, of course, you got a showdown with the Eagles in your home, right? Right, coming up right after that. So this means nothing.
Patriots, and then the maybe OKC
Seahawks are good.
And then the terrible Giants, and then the Cowboys, then the Dolphins, then the beatable
you
Rams.
You go into Philly week.
Jets. Yeah.
You're 5-2 towards the midway point of this season. This doesn't matter. We're not having this conversation. Oh, come on. I mean, I'd take 5-2.
I understand where you're coming from, right? I think if you asked us before the season started, would you take 2-2 heading into the Bears week? Yeah, all of us would have taken it. I mean, to your point, right? I think we would all take in that and say, yeah, give us the Bears on Thursday night on a short week. It's the worst possible opponent with the quickest possible turnaround. Yeah, fine, we'll deal with it. Like, that's the best it could possibly. But the rest of the schedule, I mean, there's a ton of teams that are very beatable. Like, outside of a few of them, I think the Dolphins will give them a hard time. I think the Jets are actually. Can we talk about Aaron Rodgers for a second? Can we talk about Aaron Rodgers for like 1 second? How
if we talk about what he called Travis Kelce today.
Well, I missed it. What did he call Travis Kelce?
Oh my gosh! Come on the McAfee show. He called him Mr. Pfizer.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Because his face is all. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But look
at it. Now you got to bring Pete on. Okay,
I know. He's chewing his gum really aggressively. We'll give him a second to get his jaw.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm taking advantage of this. If he can't hear what we're saying now,
oh, I can hear it now.
It's okay. Yeah, okay. But can we just talk about Rodgers for 1 second, Stevie? Coming from as two guys who have busted their Achilles, how is he standing on the sideline 4 weeks later, throwing a football and talking about returning to playing this season? It's insanity.
I'm booking my ayahuasca trip as we speak. Okay, whatever he's got going on, I love it. Absolutely, that brace that he's wearing, 2 weeks,
whatever.
Post Achilles.
Also, what's 5 hours of rehab look like? Because I'm doing like 2 hours a week, and I'm dying. I'm in month 9 over. He's doing 5 hours a day. Like it's nuts.
He called Kelce Mr. Pfizer, and how funny is that?
It's great. I also don't know why Pfizer or Moderna. I don't know why any of them are paying athletes to shill for them. I don't understand it. I'm over Travis and Tay. I'm done with that entire narrative storyline. It's embarrassing what all the broadcasters are doing.
Now, what's your political take on that, Joe? Because
it's not a political take. I just want to watch.
No, I'm asking you what your political take is on it.
I just want to watch.
It's political now. So.
She's a Soros puppet. Okay, you know that Pete from Philly. Okay,
I'm happy to talk about the last GOP the show. I mean, that was quite a.
Who's the Speaker of the House again? Oh,
we're pouring a 40 tonight. Okay.
Listen, can we get Pete?
Kevin McCarthy is at Old Ebbitt's Grill right now, drinking his sorrows away.
He should be.
Can I ask Pete from Philly? Let's pivot back to this game for 1 second. We'll put a bow on, and then we'll move on to top 5, low 5 here around the league. Assuming you actually watch some football outside of the Eagles, when they tie the game, if you just for a second pretend to be a Redskins football team Commanders fan here, are you going for it? Or are you kicking a field goal and playing for overtime?
If I'm a Commanders fan, you have to. If you're the coach, you have to go for the win.
See, Stevie,
like our defense stopped you. Not at all. The whole game. You need 2 yards to walk out of Lincoln Financial and beat us again when we're undefeated. Look, what happened to Riverboat Ron? Did he just he sailed away? Like what happened to that guy?
Moniker, it's done. He's done as Riverboat Ron.
All right. I would have gone for 2. And you know what? If you lose, you say, look, we're on the road.
We weren't
It's a
supposed to
division
win.
opponent. We're not supposed to win. We're 8.5-point dogs. We tie the game on a crazy throw with no time left. You go for 2. I'm telling you, you would have made it.
I didn't come on for some Eagles fan to lecture me about how to run our football team.
Listen,
Okay?
Oh, no, I'm not lecturing.
What I want you to do, first off, is tell me that your defensive line is overrated. Okay, I don't know what happened to that vaunted defensive front.
What I'm going to tell you is Eric Bieniemy put in an excellent game plan to get Sam Howell to toss the ball within 2 seconds of every snap and get that thing out of there. Because
sacked 5 times, and when the game was on the line, they decided to kick a field goal or tie the game instead of just going for it to win the game.
Bieniemy put in a good game plan. He called a good game, and look. Everyone knew the Eagles' weaknesses were linebacker, number 1. Number 2, our secondary was hurt. So he did a good job. He's like, I'm not going to have Sam Howell on his back the whole game and let this defense eat. I mean, and he carved us up all day.
What did
period.
you think?
What is your honest assessment of Sam Howell from an outsider's perspective? Like, what is your honest assessment?
Watching Howell, watching B-Rob, watching this offense.
Yeah.
Are the Commanders as bad as everyone predicted them to be at the beginning of the season?
No, I don't think they're as bad as everyone predicted them to be. I think that they need more talent. I think they are struggling. Their O-line needs to get better. And look, if you give Howell like quick throws and Robinson can run the ball. Look, I will tell you this. The Eagles' run defense was our strength so far this year, and you guys ran over us. Like, if you can run the ball on us and open up play action, we're vulnerable over the middle. Watch all the games this year. It was like slant open 12 yards, bubble screen open like 6 yards. Like, if you get us in the middle of the field and we don't get pressure, we are in trouble and you will eat yards on us. That's our weakness.
Brother Pete, I got news for you, okay? Sam Howell is a franchise quarterback. He's gonna be in your nightmares for years to come.
I'm not saying the guy's bad. Look, if it's Sam Howell or Mac Jones or Daniel Jones, Sam Howell all day. Like, those guys are horrible.
I think he's better than Dak.
Keep the list going.
I'm not going to go Dak yet, even though Dak,
he's
better
than
No, I'm not going to talk smack on Dak until we beat him first, and then I'll talk smack. Because their defense is too good that Dak doesn't have to do. Dak is like, all he has to do is be like, what was that guy? Trent Dilfer. That defense is amazing, right? But they're hurt.
I mean, they lost some people too. Everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt.
Agreed.
Everyone's hurt. You're a quarter of the way through the season.
Is Dak going to win the game? I don't think Dak's going to win the game for you. Is Michael Parsons going to win the game? Absolutely can win the game for you.
Yeah. I mean, Micah looked good. I mean, look,
I love Michael Parsons.
I mean, since you're on, Pete from Philly, let's go around the NFC, like the East in particular here. I mean, I'm assuming you boys watched the Giants game last night, at least some of it.
Horrible.
Yeah,
I think I fell asleep in the third quarter, to be honest with you.
They are in a world of trouble. Like, they need Saquon, but even like, he can't save Daniel Jones from what's going to.
Somebody tweeted yesterday, was it Cousin Sally's, like, I think there are just 5 fat guys playing O-line for the Giants right now. I mean, honestly, like, they have zero ability to protect.
Well, I mean, they're paying DJ $40 million a season for the next 2 seasons. They have an option after the end of next season. They're screwed. Darren Waller, they paid a ton of money. I think he was targeted 6 times in the game yesterday, four times the week before. Like,
the Giants are done.
There's no.
They're done.
I think Dable I think he's a coach. I mean, I think he can coach. I mean, he was frustrated on the sideline, throwing the Surface tablets all over. Like, they are a mess. I mean, they're
in trouble.
They are just bad.
They don't have a line. If you don't have an O-line, that Dan Jones is dead man. I mean, what was it, 11 10 sacks? What was it, 11?
Yeah,
I lost count.
It was, but the interception on the goal line is atrocious. Like, you can't do stuff like that. And he's not a rookie. Like,
I'm more worried about your team than the Giants right now. Okay,
you should be.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah.
You guys are flying a little too high for your britches right now. Okay.
No,
because you covered the spread. Lost in overtime.
Oh, we'll talk about lost spread.
And we destroyed that spread. Okay.
We'll talk about Mahomes taking a slide and ruining everybody's odds.
What did they say? It was millions that swung on that slide.
Millions.
That's crazy.
Millions.
That's almost as bad as Sean McVay kicking the field goal with no time left.
Listen,
trash game.
Pete, I know you weren't listening, but I know you don't listen to our show unless you're on it. Okay, so before you jumped on, Joe made a great point, which is Jack Del Rio's defenses historically have started off very, very, very slow, and around week 5, week 6 have picked it up. If this defense picks it up to where the offense is going and currently is, this is a playoff team, in my opinion.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Commanders.
got two
are a
things.
wild card team.
I got two things on Del Rio. Number one, you cannot call zero blitz on 3rd and 17 in overtime. You cannot do that when we need 6 yards. That's coaching malpractice. Okay, we are at home, we are moving the ball, and we need 6 to get Jake Elliott in field goal range to win the game. And you call a zero blitz with Devontae Smith over the middle? Horrific call. Okay, that's one.
You know why he called that? You know why? I'm just to fill in the holes for you, because we got a number 99 who can't get to the quarterback. We need 3 guys blitzing for 99 to get there.
6 guys and 3rd and 17. 3rd and 17.
Well, I mean,
we're out of
come to that.
It's an incomplete
ball in bounds.
Then
I mean,
if it's in, well, look, that's your guy can't get 2 feet in bounds. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's a tough call.
If the defender's arm is in bounds and the cleat is on the arm, then the foot's in bounds, right? I mean, like, do I need 60 camera angles to
you are not going to defend the NFL referees this season?
Yeah, that's fine.
The way they called
Listen,
that game yesterday.
It's what happened. But Stevie's point, I think, is a valid one. The offense.
The second thing is Del Rio is called a bad call, and it was at the worst time. Number 2, your this year is like the Giants last year. You can be a wild card team with the Giants playing so terribly and Dallas doing Dallas things that it always does. And the NFC is not that good at all across the conference.
I think it's pretty good at the top. I think.
Well, my point is that should you be watching a Phillies game right now?
It's on right here. What are you talking about? 0-0. You seriously think I'm not watching it? All right, number 1. But the conference is much weaker once you get past the top 3 teams. 7 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, half the team is 2-2, right? There's parity throughout.
Exactly.
The bottom. I mean, we do this every week, right? The bottom. I'll just pivot right into it right now. The bottom 5 or 6 teams. The Bears, absolutely the worst. Giants, very close to. Even though they have that one miracle win against Arizona, they belong at the bottom. Panthers look terrible. Raiders look horrendous.
Josh McDaniels should be fired.
Horrendous. He might be the first one to get
Matt
fired.
Eberflus should be fired. The Bears coach should be
both
fired.
Of them. Yeah, Daboll I actually like, so maybe leave him alone for
Daboll
now.
has no
Broncos look horrendous, even though they came back and win that game. Talk about a team that's completely disjointed. And then I'm surprised to even say this, but the Patriots for me look
Trash
like
can.
they are like, I don't know what's going on there, but those to me are the clear-cut worst teams. And then there's a whole collection of other teams that are 1-2 or 1-3 that, the Jets are an interesting team, but like the bad teams are really bad. The Bears, Giants,
Conference, the toughest division right now is the NFC West. Everything else is garbage.
Yeah, but I think the Seahawks are pretenders too.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, they're okay. They have a decent schedule. But
I mean, I'll give you another. I'll give you a team that you could throw in that bottom 5 that has no business being there, and I've given them 4 weeks to turn this junk around, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, they're in trouble.
It's tough too.
They look bad.
Well,
you talk about they're in trouble. Daniel's
hurt. He's hurt, but he's better than their backup at 60%.
Chase is starting to make him pouty on the sideline.
No. They are in big trouble, especially in that division. Like they're in trouble. Like
the Ravens
can win games with 11-0. Like their defense is that good, right? Yes,
I should
be serviceable, but Ravens are good. And since he's trash, and Pittsburgh is trash, right?
Pittsburgh
right now.
Is trash.
I should know the answer to these questions. Is there a trade deadline in the NFL?
Yes.
I think there is. It's like
just
6
there
or 7
is.
Or something. Yeah.
I think we could see an unprecedented trade deadline in the NFL. The number of superstars, mainly at wide receiver, complaining about their quarterbacks right now. Jamar Chase openly saying, I'm effing open. Justin Jefferson apparently Instagram storied saying Kirk Cousins is a piece of trash.
Well, Kirk might be on the block himself.
Kirk doesn't play
I'm saying we could see a historic if the Giants implode and decide, you might see a baseball. We're going to be sellers.
October 31st is the deadline. I just looked it up. So Halloween is the deadline.
Claypool is was a healthy scratch.
Right? There you go.
Yeah, he's
quite a bit.
We're going to ship him too. He's on the block for sure. Someone's calling Chicago about him
because the Vikings.
Chicago's are sellers. They're gonna try to get the number 1 pick. Justin Fields is not that good.
Jonathan Taylor.
They have the number 1 and number 2 pick right now.
Because of Carolina, right?
They have an opportunity to reset the whole team.
Isn't Jonathan Taylor supposed to be playing this week for Indianapolis?
He's back at practice.
How does that work? That's like James Harden suiting up for the Sixers right now. How does that work?
This team it's not a complete shit show here. Maybe I do want to play. Like maybe this kid can play quarterback and maybe we can win some games. And he's like, okay, maybe I want to play.
Richardson's got some stones. That guy can play.
I mean, he's got to learn how to slide. All these guys need to learn how to slide and get down. Just stop taking hits. But yeah, I mean, he looked like he could play. and your boy down in Houston, I'm blanking on his name.
CJ Stroud.
I mean,
1,000 yards in 4
wow.
games. Rookie.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No turnovers. I don't think he's thrown an interception or had a
That guy
fumble.
can play too, for sure.
Yeah, Nico Collins. I mean, and he's throwing to you and me out there, and he's still they're finding the end zone, right? They're not running the ball.
This season makes no sense.
Yeah.
Give me Sam Howell over all of them.
You're drinking too much Kool-Aid, Steve.
I mean, I'm excited about Sam too, Stevie, but like, I mean, we'll see.
You got to ease up a little bit.
We'll see. I mean, listen,
Don't crash. Look, you always play us tough. You like the Eagles play the Redskins or Commanders, whatever your team is called. It's a division game. It's always tough. You beat us every year at least once. You know.
Am I going to get a Phillies prediction from this guy?
Hold on. Let's finish NFL. Then we'll
finish NFL. Then we'll go to
all this baseball jazz. It's good that you're here because I don't know anything about baseball. And Stevie wants to talk about the playoffs. All right, look, I got the Eagles pivoting to the top 5. I got the Eagles at number 2, only behind the 49ers
in the conference.
And it's in the whole NFL.
In the league? No.
These are my top.
Buffalo is better. Miami is better. San Francisco is better.
Miami's
better.
Here's my list.
That's how good Buffalo is.
I'm gonna give you my list, and then you can argue with me. All right, it's 49ers at 1, Eagles, Bills, Cowboys, Chiefs, Lions on the outside looking in. That's my 1 through 5. Lions as a bonus at 6.
I think I like that high.
Oh, I think they can, with the exception of this past week, they run the ball. They can stop the run.
Agreed. So, look, I'm not going to complain because they're 4-0, but they're not playing well. The Panther game sucks. It just is not good. It's like ding dong, run, and then 50-yard bomb to AJ. Like we can't win like that. Like
the Bills have an embarrassing loss on their schedule. That I don't think you can just
week 1. That's okay.
Right. The Chiefs do as well. I think the Cowboys do too. Right. So like all 3 of those teams have one embarrassing loss. Right. The Lions look complete. They look like
the Lions are legit. They're legit.
And they're fun to cheer for. Like it's exciting to see. It was actually shocking to see that many blue jerseys in Lambeau. I don't know if you guys saw the photos. It was crazy. Everywhere. It was to the point. Stevie, did you see did you see this on? It was to the point where the Packers had to issue a statement after the game, begging their fans not to sell to like other fans' teams, like other teams' fans, but especially within the division. It was half the stadium was blue. It was wild. And it's not like the Packers are terrible, but the Lions, all of a sudden, all these Lions fans are they're coming out of everywhere. I think the Hard Knocks effect for them was very, very real.
Well, what's the alternative? Staying in Detroit?
Sure, it's the Pittsburgh effect, right?
I think they came out. They turned out because they beat them last year at the last week. Right?
Yes,
and that was. I think that.
They look good. They look good. They play defense.
No, they look good. Absolutely.
I mean, they got to get more out of They got to get more out of Gibbs, the rookie running back. I mean, they miss Swift right now for sure, but
Swift's great. Love that guy.
Awesome. I mean, 4 weeks into the season, right? 25% or close to 25% of the season. The headline summary: AFC greater than NFC. That's all it is. AFC is a powerhouse.
I'll give you that.
NFC is wild.
Bills, Chiefs, and Dolphins.
Those are 3 teams that are better than every NFC team. Yeah.
Well, okay. The Dolphins scored 60 less points than they did the week before. Okay, so maybe just
against the Bills.
Against the Bills, okay, right? But the 49ers look like they can go out and score at any point in time on anyone without any issue at all.
Until McCaffrey gets hurt next week because he scored 4 touchdowns.
Well, listen, injuries are part of the game, right? And until he's injured, they're going to be tough.
I agree.
Don't release the script before the week. Okay.
Once McCaffrey gets MVP talk, he gets hurt. That's like every year it happens, like without fail.
I'm surprised that Shanny didn't have him run to tie that the franchise record 5 touchdowns.
Because then he would have blew his Achilles out on that run. So that's what.
Hey, I mean, my leg just twitched.
Read the room, okay? Achilles tear.
I'm telling you, I literally before the game started on Monday night, I stopped and I looked, or on Sunday night, I looked at it like 3 times. I turned to my wife and I had a friend over. I was like, "How is this guy standing and throwing a football?" And he's not even like using the crutch. Like it's unfathomable. That's
called like pro healthcare. Right.
Well, it's the same. Like honestly,
for a $50 million quarterback, and
it's the Kobe thing too, right? Like Kobe busted his Achilles, walked to the bench, walked out, shot 2 free throws, sank them both, then walked off,
with one leg,
and then was back playing 7 or 8 months later. Like Stevie.
But
two,
the
3 years
difference,
ago,
you
stop
saw
here,
what
and
happened. He
still,
wasn't the same. He didn't have the same explosion, he didn't have the same movement, he didn't have
Hey,
the same lift.
don't
But
speak
that's
ill
not
of-
football.
Don't speak ill. I'll cut your mic right now.
I'm not
Don't-
going
don't-
to speak
don't
ill of Kobe right now. Okay.
Looks like he's on your post. Isn't he on the poster behind you there?
No, that's Iverson, Dr. J, Wilt, and Charles.
Yeah, trust the process. We're good for 5th in the East.
We're not talking about the Sixers right now.
Yeah.
That topic is off limits for the moment.
Did James Harden show up to media day? No,
He's supposed to come tonight.
he's not.
I don't.
He's terrible. He's terrible.
I don't want to talk about Harden. I can't. With Dame on Milwaukee and Drew Holiday on Boston, I cannot talk about the Sixers. That is a
guys. There's an NFL season and MLB playoffs.
I agree.
This is
all right, Steve.
No NBA.
This is where I go blackjack hands. Okay, the floor is yours. Go ahead and talk all the baseball you want.
All right, let's hear it.
I know the Nationals are not in. I know Bryce. I know expectations are very, very, very high for Bryce Harper and the Phillies, right? And I know the Orioles. I know the Orioles have a bye. Like all of a sudden, I see Orioles gear everywhere around. Like
dude, they won 101 games.
Yeah, and
it's not by accident.
I understand, but like the fans, I appreciate that I'm seeing it. Like the people are excited about it. But that's all I got. So Stevie, Pete from Philly, you guys take it from here.
Hey,
what should I be watching?
Hot take.
Should I zero?
No. What you need to acknowledge, October, best month of sports. I know March is great with March Madness, the Masters, basketball, whatever. October is the best month. I mean, you get the thick of the NFL season,
you get the best
baseball playoffs,
start of basketball,
Twix candy.
Exactly.
Bar.
You got one hell of a UFC fight coming up at the end of it. You got Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis, which is awesome, which we need a whole other show about that. But listen, MLB playoffs, the story of the NL, all due respect to present company here, the Phillies aren't in the conversation.
Okay. So
the Phillies aren't a part of the conversation.
They weren't last year either.
There are two dominant teams in the National League, and they are on a collision course. Everyone else should just exit stage left and let the Braves and Dodgers just slug it out.
Braves are a bye, right?
Yeah.
Braves and Dodgers. Yes, both of them are on a bye.
Baseball. 104 wins.
Okay. There was games today.
The
I
Braves,
Rangers won. I believe the Twins won. The Twins are like apparently a dark horse. Like people.
Twins are a good
team.
team.
On the Twins. Phillies are playing the Marlins
right now. Yeah,
that's in my brain here. And then the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. I think I saw that one right before we started the show here. I think they were in the top of the second or something.
Well, and the Brewers I loved going in, but one of their aces, Brandon Woodruff, is out for the playoffs. So that was huge news. Popped out yesterday.
Are the cheaters in the playoffs?
You want a hot take? I'll give you a hot take about baseball.
Are they on a bye also?
Who?
Yeah,
the Astros.
Oh yeah. They won on the last day of the season, beats to clinch the division. I so wish they were out.
Hold on. So my bye teams, the top 2 or the top 4 are Astros, Dodgers, Orioles,
stay in the
Braves.
Stay in the leagues. Orioles, Astros, 1-2, Braves, Dodgers, National League.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Here's my hot take. And the Phillies are up 1-0, top 3, bottom 3. My hot take is the Marlins scare me to death. Okay. It's a 3-game series. It's no, you don't understand. They play us tough every year. Okay. They're like you guys in football. If we get past the Marlins, and I expect we will, I think we go to the World Series. I'm not scared of Atlanta. I'm not scared of LA.
Wait.
I'm not scared of those teams.
Listen, as somebody who watches zero baseball, I know that's ridiculous. That's not even.
I told you it was a hot take. I prefaced it.
It's not
as a hot take, and I'm telling you right now, I am comfortable with that prediction.
Is there going to be
we get past mine? We're either going to lose this stupid 3-game series.
I'm waiting.
Let us make a wager here.
All the money in my pocket versus all the money in your pocket.
I don't think that's going to push.
The Braves are historically good.
Agreed.
Joe. Let me talk to you.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Joe, the Braves won the World. I'm just going to educate Joe for a second here. The Braves won the World Series without the best player, and then they added the best player in baseball, who just had a historic season.
What happened last year? Braves. Remind me. Oh, that's right.
They got hot.
We beat them in the playoffs. We beat St. Louis, we beat San Diego, and we beat Atlanta, and we went to the World Series. I
love the we.
And we were the last wild card team into the show. All right. And I'm telling you right now, we're better than last year. I don't know how you can have Kyle Schwarber hit.
Your pitching's not better than last year.
No, it's not. but our lineup is better than last year. So
Eh,
if we hit, we win. Period. My
Listen,
pitching.
I don't know about Miami. I don't know how many times Sandy Alcantara can pitch in a 3-game series.
Once, maybe 1.5.
I think he could get out there for a game 3
If it's a rubber
and
match,
close
then they
out,
put him in. They close him out in the back half of the game. They put him in the sixth,
which I think would be awesome.
Yeah,
The beauty
that's
of
why they
MLB
scare me.
playoffs.
I don't like this team. They scare me to death.
I'm saying it's all about pitching.
I mean, most of the Philly squad is back, correct?
Everyone's back. Our just pitching isn't as good as it was last year.
And they added
Trey Turner.
Trey
Turner.
Smooth
Who's been
Trey.
playing pretty
Smooth
well
slide
since the
baseball.
All-Star game.
How did that
Yeah.
happen, by the way? Does Bryce make a call? Like, does that stuff matter? Or they
The
just
Phillies opened the checkbook, paid him $300 million.
Exactly. Why do you need a phone call if you're handing him $300 million?
$300 million. Now Bryce looks like he's on a cheap deal. Honestly, it's crazy.
yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll see. Baseball's gonna be fun.
The one tidbit that ChatGPT gave me actually earlier about the Marlins is they.
Is how you're prepping for this show?
Yeah, listen. You can use it for anything, and I happen to use it to get smart on baseball, cramming like a 10-year-old before a test, right? And what it told me was that the Marlins, they deal with pressure better than any other team in the majors, right? And they won the most one-run games,
33 and 13 in one-run games this year, which is an insane statistic. All right, that's an insane.
Who does ChatGPT say is going to be the next Speaker of the House?
Well, it's not going to be Kevin McCarthy. Yeah. Apparently, he said he's not doing it.
I don't think it's been trained in that. I don't think he can do
is Lauren Boebert up for it?
Stop it, please.
Her and your girl, what's her name? Susanna Chickenfoot in Virginia.
Joe loves this Virginia Congresswoman.
Stop.
Loves her.
Can you just stop with the Republicans, please? It's actually you can keep going actually because it's very comical. Because right now the House adjourned today. Do you know when they're coming back to work? You ready? Did you hear this?
The New Year.
Wednesday of
they
next
should
week.
all be fired. Okay, that's my political take.
They're taking a week off to figure out who should be the next speaker.
Hey, they got their CR. What do they care?
It only goes for 40.
Pete, I know we're on opposite ends of the political spectrum here, but I think you would join me in a universal platform for a candidate. You can be anyone. I don't care who the person is. Term limits, age limits, and daylight savings time. That's my 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, let's start there. Let's unite.
I'll start there. No one is going to vote themselves out of office with that move. It'll never happen.
When I'm in charge, all right. When I run, I'm going to say we're going to sign it in and make it official.
Joe, you have a blown Achilles. You can't run. We already covered this.
Hey, my guy's up there. I keep calling him the governor of North Korea. He's not North Korea. It's North Dakota. Dude's up there with 1 foot. I don't know how he's doing it either. He's up there with all the Botox and the stretchy face. And
I need a hot take on who the next speaker is going to be. I want to hear from Joe because he's plugged in. You're inside the Beltway. Let me hear it.
I have no read.
Give me a name.
Congress, all of them should be fired. It could be Steve for all I know. I have no.
You got to pick sides, Joe. Okay, put that R next to your name. Be proud of it.
Can it be Vivek?
Oh, that guy's an idiot.
Can he? Listen, he wants to ban social media for kids.
Stop. He wants to be the vice president or the replacement when Trump goes to jail. That's the play.
Well,
it's a smart play, but the guy's a moron.
Your boy has
smart play.
5-point lead, so everyone's chasing second.
I agree with you.
Surprised you haven't been able to put Trump behind bars there, Pete from Philly.
I
know you tried. I know because it wasn't for not trying. Okay.
You'd have to take the current president with him.
Oh, stop it, please! With the two sides of everything from the Republicans, please.
Pete, don't pull that lever for Sleepy Joe come November. Don't pull that lever for him.
Who am I supposed to pull for? The guy who's going to be in custody in an orange jumpsuit? That guy?
It'll be Gavin. Your boy Gavin. You're not a Gavin guy?
Gavin's not running. He's not going to run.
How about Michelle?
Please.
Michelle's not going to run. She's already said it 7 years ago. She's never going to run. She'll never run for office.
Oh, Mike's going to run.
Mike who?
Don't do that. I don't want to have to edit this later. Don't do that.
Is
there any other baseball stuff I need to know before we put a bow on this? Talk to me about the Orioles. Are they the front runner here?
They look good. They're just very young. And so when the playoffs, as Stevie knows, the playoffs show up, everything slows down, everything gets tight. The games are close. You don't have the stones. And you look, there's a certain level of experience baseball players need in the playoffs. And when you go there for the first time, it's really hard to get hot and stay hot and withstand more experienced teams, right? So that's where the Astros have a huge advantage over Baltimore and every other team in the playoffs, in the AL playoffs.
Does anyone outside of Houston cheer for them?
No, nobody does. Everyone hates that team, me included. And I'll be the first one on the front lines of that.
Verlander, I think, is back. He's back again? I think.
Yeah, the Mets traded him back, but he's not playing well. He's not pitching well at all.
Where's Max, by the way?
Not pitching well, but Max
got
got shut down before.
Shut him down.
Yeah. He may be done forever.
He may be done.
He should be done forever. He's terrible.
Yeah.
But look, the playoffs come down to pitching.
Hold on, I have a question. Well, before you tell me about pitching, is what Gunnar did this season historic in any regard, or is it just a good season as a rook?
I think it's somewhere in between. I don't think it's historic. I mean, there's been young guys
it's good GMing. He's got a good system. They have a good farm system. They brought their kids up young. It's good baseball management.
I mean,
the biggest thing with the Orioles right now is they shut down their closer, Felix Bautista.
That's a problem.
So getting those 3 outs, the hardest 3 outs in sports.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know what they're going to do when you are at Minute Maid Park in the bottom of the ninth.
Craziness.
3 outs.
Exactly. That's where the experience comes back and bites you when you're that young.
But
is there a team?
This is all moot because the Braves are going to clean house.
Stop it.
This
is all right, Stevie. You're on the Braves. Give me one team that you just know is not advancing. Is there one that's just clear cut?
Tampa.
I mean, there's a lot.
Tampa backdoored into the playoffs. They fell apart in the back half of the season.
I think the Marlins don't have a chance against the Phillies.
No. Well, right now it's 1 on, 2 outs, top 4 for Miami. Again, this game scares me to death. I'm telling you, this series. It's not. It's like watching your team on Sunday. Freaking heart attack the whole game.
Just take it easy. Take a deep breath.
Hey, Sam Howell's going to be in your nightmares, baby. Okay.
Please tell me you have this on tape, right, Joe? It's recorded.
Of course, it'll be up. It'll be live and on YouTube and everywhere else in about 20 minutes after we hang it up.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I echo your sentiment, Stevie, about the month of October. November is also a fun month for sports. I tend to lean more into the basketball as opposed to the start of basketball season as opposed to the end of baseball season. But it's undeniable, especially when looking back at the Nats' historic run a couple seasons ago, like this was an awesome time of the year, right? And like the World Series, regardless of who's in it, it's appointment television. It more so than the NBA Finals for sure, more so than the Stanley Cup. Like the World Series is just something about it that's very just unique, right? It's a series. The teams that get there, like it comes down to a pitch. It's literally a game of inches.
No clock.
Although at some point they have to address the poor, like refereeing or umpiring or whatever.
Oh,
like
it's
balls
bad.
and strikes has got to be.
Baby. It's coming. Automatic strikes and balls. It's coming.
Yeah,
Why can't they give them like a challenge system or something? Like there's got to be a way to do it.
They have it in the minor leagues. It works really well. They've been testing it out.
What's the holdup? Why not do it?
Coming, baby. Just give it some time.
Couple years.
America's pastime. Take some time.
Okay. Any final thoughts, Stevie?
No, I just rewatched Winning Time season 2. I'd like to get into that at a later time.
You just canceled the show, man.
I know.
Pour a little out for that. So
you're gonna run out of runway pretty soon on that one.
They canceled it because there were some truth bombs being dropped on it on a bunch of different guys. We need to get Magic on here, okay? He's a DC guy now, okay?
I'll put a call in. I'll see if I can get that. That's fine. We barely got beat from Philly, but I'm sure we can get Magic. There's no problem. No problem.
Yeah, give him like 20 minutes of a heads up. I'm sure he'll join.
That show, we appreciate your flexibility, Pete. We were actually planning to go at 9, like a whole hour later, but no,
you guys are East Coast.
I just think things came up, so we appreciate the flexibility.
You're the host. I appreciate the invite.
Stevie, that show was well scripted, well acted, like just awesome end to end. But they were the Lakers had been they started it and they monetized it. They were happy with it. And then as the writing got more and more like closer to home, they've been trying to kill it for months. And
season 1 was better. They kind of went off the rails in season 2. They needed, it was like running in 6 different directions every episode. You're like, what's the point of this second season? And again, what's the whole point of a show if you're not going to get with the Lakers to get the Magic in 91, right? Like, okay,
or beyond.
Right.
I would argue that the Shaq and Kobe years were much more.
Dude, at this rate, there were like 45 seasons of this show at the rate they were going to get to Shaq and Kobe. What are you talking about?
Well,
there's 2 seasons they got to the 85 finals.
Yeah. Well, it's over, so it doesn't matter anyway. The morning show came back, and that looks like it's going to be canceled too. That's terrible. I know people were all excited for it when Apple launched it. It's poop. It's poop on fire. So pass on that one too. Peter, you watching anything? Do you care? You care to share what you're binging?
I'm watching the Wrexham show, the soccer one.
That's a good show.
Ryan Reynolds and Robin McConnelly.
Are you on to season 2? Or are you?
I am. No, I'm caught up. It's good.
Yeah,
it's well done.
Makes you want to buy a team.
Yeah, I don't have $1 billion, so that's not in the cards for me
yet. Soon.
As I didn't sell Mint Mobile to T-Mobile and get 1.6 billion. Oh goodness.
Well, Pete, thanks for making time for us. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We always appreciate the Philly insider. Okay, I'm gonna edit that out. Stevie, thanks for making time, Stevie. I know you got some stuff going on too. Appreciate it. We're keeping the streak alive. The Tuesday night streak lives. We go on for at least one more week. FP, if you're listening to this, we chopped some stuff out because we killed you in the opening. So the false opening will be removed from the show. But until next week, my name is Joe. The show is available on all social media platforms, all podcast platforms. Thank you for checking us out. Defeating the Curse at DTC. You can find us and interact with us anywhere you get your media. Thank you. Have a good night. Until next week, we are out.